Level 0, you open your eyes. The windshield is cracked in 3 places. The wipers smear dirt across the glass. Useless jerks. Outside, there is deafening silence. Silence after the roar. The kind of silence that only comes after. The cornfield is no longer standing. It lies flat, as if a giant swept his hand across the earth. Your laptop is open on your knees. The radar screen still glows, blue and red. 5 minutes ago, that red hook was just data. Now it is outside the window, was outside the window. The radio on the passenger seat crackles. Vortex 7. Do you copy? You do not answer. You look at your hands on the steering wheel. They are shaking slightly. This is normal. It is an adrenaline hangover. But you did not always know this. You did not always know any of this. There was a moment when you first pulled over on an Oklahoma highway and just looked at the dark wall of clouds on the horizon. You did not run, you looked. That is where it all began. Level 1, EFO, the Curious Oklahoma, Highway 81. Late April storm season starts in March. The peak is April, May, and June. The land between the Rockies and the Appalachians is Tornado Alley, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Texas. This is the heart. 3 airstreams collide here. Cold, dry air from the north. Warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. Hot, dry air from the mountains. When they meet, the sky starts thinking, and sometimes it makes a decision. You bought a book about tornadoes 2 years ago. Then you watched videos on YouTube. Then you made an account on the StormTrack forum. Then you moved to Norman, Oklahoma. Not for the job, for the sky. Your first chase vehicle is just your car. A sedan with 2-year-old insurance and a cracked side mirror. An Oklahoma Road Atlas sits on the passenger seat, printed yesterday. In the back is a cheap dash cam, still in plastic. You do not even know how to mount it right. The cost of your gear today is about $40. A phone with the radar scope app, a bottle of water, 3 protein bars, a notebook. Your first target is not a tornado. Your first target is a supercell. A supercell is an organized thunderstorm system with rotation inside. This is where tornadoes are born. A supercell without a tornado is still something. It is still a reason to pull over and watch. The clouds above you change color. First gray, then greenish. That green tint is a special moment. It means large hail is absorbing sunlight through the top of the cloud. It means the system is working. A wall of clouds lowers on the horizon. It is called a wall cloud. It is rotating. Slowly, almost invisibly, like a giant hand feeling for the ground. One wrong turn of the wheel now, and you will end up right under it. But you do not know the rules of safe positioning. You do not know you should stand east of the storm, not south. You are standing south. That is the wrong side. A pickup truck honks behind you. A local farmer points at the sky and waves his hand, telling you to leave. He grew up here. He has known this sky since birth. Your phone beeps. Tornado watch for Greer County. It is not a warning. Watch means conditions are right. Warning means a tornado is confirmed. The difference between them is about 7 minutes of your life. Something emerges from the horizon, not a funnel, not yet. Just a dark protrusion under the wall cloud. It slowly stretches downward, as if the sky is tasting the earth. You pull out your phone, you film, your hands are shaking. Not from fear. You do not even understand why. The protrusion pulls back up into the cloud. The storm passes to the northeast, EFO. Winds from 65 to 85 miles per hour to 105 to 137 km/h. Downed trees, torn signs, damaged awnings. No one was hurt. You look at the footage on your phone. The quality is bad. The camera was shaking. The horizon is tilted, but it is there. Your first one. You drive home in silence. You do not turn on the radio. The next day you open the storm track forum and you start reading about positioning rules. What do? Choose. Go back and stand on the right side, or stay home and read for another year. Level 2, EF1, The Spotter, Norman, Oklahoma. Spring of the following year. A year is a long time. You read 3 meteorology books in a year. You took the online Skywarn course from NOAA, the National Weather Service. Skywarn is a volunteer spotter program. Their job is to report weather right from the field. A ground report is sometimes more valuable than radar, because radar sees the reflection of drops in the air. A spotter sees what is happening on the ground. There are about 300,000 people in Skywarn across America. Most of them do not chase tornadoes. They look out the window and call dispatch. You chase. Your new gear cost you $800. A tablet with a pro subscription to Radarscope. A radio scanner for weather and emergency frequencies. A windshield mount for the tablet. To power banks. An old tripod. A small camcorder with optical zoom. You no longer stand south of the storm. You learned the concept of proper positioning. The rule is simple. Tornadoes in the northern hemisphere move northeast on average. If you are to the east, the storm passes you by. If you are to the west or northwest, you are in the path. If you are to the south, you are in the zone of most intense rotation. By May, you have been on 8 chases. 3 were busts. The storm fell apart before touching down. 2 only gave you large hail. 1 chase ended with your car stuck in the mud on a dirt road. And 2 were real. An EF1 in Blaine County. An EF1 in Logan County. EF1 means winds from 86 to 110 miles per hour to 138 to 177 km/h. It tears roofs off light structures, flips trailers and mobile homes, snaps trees. The average width of an EF1 funnel is about 50 yards to 45 meters. That is about 1.5 basketball courts. You see the EF1 funnel from a distance of about 1.2 miles, 2 kilometers. The optics let you shoot in detail. You can see the base of the funnel touch the surface. You can see the cloud of debris and dirt around the contact point. You see a tree to the right of the funnel slowly snap in half, almost in slow motion. After the funnel, you drive to look at the damage path. It is called a damage survey. Storm chasers do not do this for pretty photos. This is real data. The EF category is assigned exactly by the damage survey. Meteorologists look at specific destruction, how a tree is broken, how metal is deformed, what happened to the brickwork, and they reconstruct the wind speed from that. On the damage path, you see a power pole ripped out of the ground, roots and all. The concrete foundation sticks up like a tooth. The asphalt is torn off in strips. The walls of a barn are blown away. The roof lies 85 yards to 80 meters away in the field. A farmer is standing nearby. He is about 60. He is looking at what used to be his barn 20 minutes ago. His hands are in his pockets. He is not crying. He is just standing there. You want to say something? You cannot find the words. You take out your camera and start filming the damage. This is data. This is necessary. But the farmer looks at you. What do? Choose. Put the camera away and offer help, or keep documenting. This is vital data. Level 3 EF. To the Chaser, Kansas, the Great Plains. Early May. Tornado Alley looks different than it does in photos. No dramatic cliffs, no high hills, just the horizon. Flat to the point where you can see a storm 60 miles to 100 kilometers away. That is exactly why you can hunt it here. In the mountains, you cannot chase a tornado. It is already there before you see it. On the plains, you have time. Sometimes several hours, sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes nothing. You have a different vehicle now. A used Ford F250 with a big tank. You have spent thousands of hours in the car over the last 3 years. In the back seat is a hard plastic case with gear, a professional video camera with zoom, a laptop connected to professional NexRad radar data, to GPS navigators, main and backup, a portable weather station for pressure and temperature, walkie-talkies for communication with other chasers, a first aid kit, a steel helmet, full-view safety goggles for debris. Your budget for the season is about $15,000. Gas, insurance, gear, food on the road. The money comes from your day job. You work as an IT specialist at an insurance company 5 days a week, and on weekends and vacations, you chase. This morning, NOAA forecasters issued a particularly dangerous situation, a special status given when conditions are optimal for EF3 and above. Your chase partner calls you. His name is Marcus. He is from Tulsa. He has been doing this for 5 years. You meet at a gas station near Dodge City, Kansas. Marcus arrives a minute later. He brings 2 coffees in paper cups. You stand by the hood and look at the laptop. The radar shows a hook to the north. A hook echo. A hook on the radar is a classic sign of a mesocyclone. The hook forms when the area of rotation pulls in precipitation and spins it around. It does not mean a tornado is there right now. It means it could be. Marcus says, look at the speed. The storm is moving at about 45 miles per hour to 70 km/h to the northeast. There are few roads ahead, one highway corridor. If you leave right now, you will have time to get into position. If you hesitate for 10 minutes, you will lose the angle. You get in the cars. Marcus leads. You follow. The radio crackles. Confirmed tornado in King County, EF2. Winds from 111 to 135 miles per hour to 178 to 217 km/h. Tears roofs off frame houses. Destroys mobile home parks. Collapses exterior walls. This is not a joke. You see it in your rear view mirror. No, not in the mirror. You see it through the windshield. The funnel is to the west. It is wide, dark, and wrapped in rain. A belt of clouds spins around it. The ground under the base has vanished into a brown-gray wall. This is the debris cloud. When a tornado touches the ground, it lifts everything. Soil, rocks, crops, pieces of buildings. All of it spins with it. Marcus stops sharply at an intersection. He is already calculating. If they drive the current route, they will be 870 yards to 800 meters from the path. That is a good distance. Enough for good footage. Enough for safety. If the storm does not take a sudden turn, an EF2 tornado can change direction sharply. Another car pulls up next to you. Tourists with cameras. They clearly do not know where to stand. They stopped right in front of the path. What do? Choose. Yell at them to leave and lose your position, or hold your ground. It is their choice. Level 4, EF3, the researcher, Oklahoma City, laboratory. Late evening, there is a difference between a chaser and a researcher. A chaser goes for the spectacle. A researcher goes for the data. These two worlds coexist in Tornado Alley, but they do not always understand each other. You have been chasing for 6 years. 3 seasons ago, David Moffat noticed you. He is a meteorologist from the University of Oklahoma, one of the leading experts in supercell dynamics. He saw your footage at a conference in Norman. After the conference, he walked up to you. Do you understand what you filmed? You said, I understand the basics. He said, do you want to understand it? Exactly. That is how you became part of the research team, not a scientist. You are not a meteorologist, but you know how to drive. You know how to take a position. You know how not to panic. That is more valuable than a dissertation in the field. The team is working on the Vortex project, verification of the origins of rotation in tornadoes experiment. The first vortex was in 94 and 95. That was the first time they got data from right next to a tornado. You are working on the modern version. Different equipment, same principle. Surround the tornado from all sides. Collect data simultaneously. Build a 3D model of what happens inside. The team uses probe vehicles. A probe vehicle is a pickup truck with a metal container in the bed. Inside the container are weather probes, small, about 16 inches to 40 centimeters across. They are called turtles. Tactical, urban response, terrain following explorers. No, simpler. They are flat discs with sensors, pressure, temperature, humidity, and wind speed. They are thrown into the path of the tornado. The tornado passes right over them. The probes survive in most cases. They are heavy and flat. They do not get lifted. After it passes, you collect the data. The data shows the pressure profile inside the tornado near the ground. In the center of an EF3, the pressure drops sharply, sometimes 25 millibars below the surroundings. This creates a suction effect. That is why an EF3 rips trees out by the roots, not the wind speed, the pressure difference. Today, the team is heading into the field. 7 cars. You are driving probe vehicle number 3. In the back is Carla, an assistant, 28 years old, grad student, her first field season. She was silent the whole way. You know this silence. You were just as silent 6 years ago. The radar shows a good target. Classic supercell structure over southern Oklahoma. David's voice on the radio. Take positions according to plan. Bravo. Under plan Bravo, probe car 3 sets up southeast of the tornado's path. Your job is to deploy the probes 8 minutes before it passes. Then drive away. Then come back. Tornado confirmed. EF3, winds from 136 to 165 miles per hour to 218 to 266 kmh. Tears down outside walls of frame houses. Flips train cars. This is not what you saw before. An EF3 looks different. It is wider. It is darker. The ground around it vanishes into a haze of lifted debris before the funnel itself is visible. You see it on the right, about 0.8 miles to 1.4 kilometers away. Carla speaks quietly from the back. It is coming right at us. You check the course on the laptop. No, it is moving northeast. You are to the east. Everything is according to plan. Carla again. It looks closer than the navigator says. It is an optical illusion. On the plains, your brain loses scale. No trees, no buildings for comparison. When there is nothing familiar nearby, the brain decides the massive object is close. Carla throws the probes onto the road. 1, 2, 3. The tornado shifted slightly, just a little bit, but the compass does not lie. It is now moving more east-northeast. David on the radio. Car 3, you have a course shift. Bail south on Route 81, full throttle to the 34 intersection. You are already driving. What do you do? Choose, follow David's route or bail earlier on a dirt road. Level 5, EF for the Vanguard. Research aircraft cabin. Altitude 5,000 feet 1500 meters. Not every chaser works on the ground. Some research is done from the air. Specially equipped planes fly into the base of the supercell, not inside the tornado, next to it. That is a difference of a few seconds and a few hundred yards. The plane is a WP-3D Orion, an old military patrol plane converted by NOAA into a flying lab. Nickname Kermit because it is green. Inside, there is no regular cabin. Racks of equipment along the walls. Workstations with seatbelts. The windows are smaller than a regular plane. The smell, electronics, aviation fuel, and something a bit sour. The smell of moisture and ozone from the storm system. The crew today, 2 pilots, 3 meteorologists, 2 radar operators, and you. You are the field team representative. You know what the structure looks like from the outside. Your data helps the crew understand what they see on the screens. The plane flies in the transition zone, between the calm air mass and the supercell wall. The turbulence starts sharply here. Not gradually, sharply. A glass of water that was on the meteorologist's desk to your right is instantly on the ceiling. No, not on the ceiling. It just hangs in the air for a second. Then it falls. No one turns around. No one says anything. This is normal. Pilot Rob speaks on the intercom, entering moderate plus turbulence. Check your harnesses. Right below you is an EF4. Winds from 166 to 200 miles per hour to 267 to 322 km/h. An EF4 levels stone walls. It tosses cars like trash. It strips asphalt off the road. It kills people caught outside 330 yards to 300 meters from the center. You see it through the window. From an altitude of 5,000 feet, an EF4 looks different than from the ground. From below, it looks like a wall of chaos. From above, you can see its structure. It is an organized system. The main funnel in the center. Around it are several secondary vortices. They are called subvortices. Subvortices rotate around the main funnel and simultaneously spin on their own. It is the subvortices that generate the highest wind speeds. When a subvortex touches a house wall, it passes through it in a fraction of a second. But in that fraction of a second, it shreds the wall. Data from the onboard Doppler radar shows wind speeds 237 miles per hour to 382 km/h. This is not a sensation. It is a number in a file. The meteorologist to your right adds it to the spreadsheet without taking his eyes off the screen, just logging data. Large hail batters the outside against the fuselage. It sounds like continuous steel rain. One of the radar operators, his name is Peter. He starts talking fast. He sees a sign of a dangerous shift on the radar. The storm is changing speed, slowing down from 50 to 20 miles per hour to 80 to 35 km/h. A slowing tornado is worse. It stalls and destroys everything around it for longer. Pilot Rob asks the team, do we turn back or take the northern pass? The northern pass is closer to the supercell wall. Better data, higher risk. Meteorologist Hughes looks at you. You have seen it from below more than any of them. What do? Choose. Recommend the northern pass for better data or insist on a safe withdrawal. Level 6, EF5, the final level, outskirts of Moore, Oklahoma. May 20th, EF5 is the limit of the scale. Wind speeds over 200 miles per hour to 322 km/h is the lower bound. The upper bound is unknown. The enhanced Fujita scale has no upper limit for EF5. And EF5 does not destroy houses. It erases them from the foundation. It leaves bare concrete where a building stood. Sometimes it leaves no foundation at all. The widest documented tornado is not the EF5 in Moore. It is El Reno, Oklahoma, May 31st, 1.6 miles, 2.6 kilometers. That is the width. It is not a typo. 1.6 miles across. That is larger than some city blocks. But right now, it is May 20th. More you know this city. You have driven through it hundreds of times. Highway 35, the expensive Walmart, the medical center at the 149th intersection. The tornado went right through the hospital. There were doctors and patients inside. They took shelter in the inner hallways. Most survived. You will learn about that later. Right now, you are in position. You are part of a 4-car team. The TIV Tornado Intercept vehicle. This is not an ordinary car. It is a modified Ford F450, weighing about 17,500 pounds to 8 tons, low aerodynamic body. Special anchor spikes that drive into the asphalt. The windshield is 1.6 inches to 4 centimeters of polycarbonate. Inside is a full suite of weather instruments and cameras. The TIV was built for one thing: to sit right in the path of an EF5 and collect data while the tornado passes over. No one has done it with total success. Several attempts, a few close calls. An EF5 tornado rarely goes exactly where you thought it would. The radar shows a hook, a classic hook over Moore. David on the radio. This is a big one. Width 550 yards to 500 meters. No, correction. 760 yards to 700 meters. No, David's voice has changed. Correction. Over half a mile to 1 kilometer. You look through the windshield. It takes up the entire horizon ahead. Not part of the horizon. All of it. A dark, rotating, opaque wall. You hear it. It does not sound like a freight train, like the textbooks say. It sounds like all sounds merged into one sound, as if the world collapsed into one continuous frequency. The TIV is anchored. You are driving the second car behind it. You were supposed to fall back. You did not. The radio crackles. Vortex 2, bail south immediately. You count the seconds. To the left of the tornado is a subvortex. It has detached and is moving on its own. On May 31st, the following year, a subvortex from the El Reno tornado will kill 3 researchers, Tim Samaras, Paul Samaras, and cameraman Carl Young, the best storm chasers in the world. Their car was caught by exactly this kind of subvortex. They knew the rules. They did everything right. The subvortex appeared where it was not supposed to be. Right now, the subvortex is to your left. Invisibility is not a superpower here. It is a death sentence. You are in a world with no rules that guarantee anything. only rules that improve the odds. Today is more. This is your chance. Radio, Vortex, to respond. What do you do? Choose, stay and collect EF5 data, or leave and save your life for the next season. Jimmy's office. Archive. A dim yellow lamp swings over the oak desk. A grown man in a sharp beige trench coat slowly sets a mug of black coffee on the desk. Detective Jimmy looks at you for a long second. You just placed yourself between you and the horizon 6 times, he says. Between you and what most people only see on TV. Jimmy opens a folder with lined paper. On each page is the name of a phenomenon. The snail in a fedora is already sitting on the corner of the desk, looking at the stack of folders. Let's break down what was happening inside your head. Phenomenon 1. Normalization of Deviance. Jimmy pulls a black and white photograph from the folder. It shows the Challenger shuttle 73 seconds before the disaster. NASA engineers knew about the O-rings. The issue had come up multiple times. Every time they got away with it. Every time they shifted the internal boundary of acceptable risk a little bit, just a little, then a little more. Sociologist Diane Vaughan named this in '96 the normalization of deviance. When dangerous behavior happens over and over without disaster, it gradually starts to feel normal. You stood south of the EFO on your first day. A mistake. Nothing happened. You added it to your list of acceptable things. The snail takes a small step toward the edge of the desk, looks down, takes a step back, then steps to the edge again. This is exactly it. Every step to the edge without falling is permission to take the next step. Psychological first aid. If you got away with something without consequences last time, it does not mean the risk was low. It means you got lucky. Studies show people systematically confuse luck with skill. It helps to periodically ask yourself, did I avoid consequences because I was right, or because I got lucky this time? Google it. Diane Vaughan. Normalization of Deviance. NASA. Phenomenon 2. Optimism Bias. Jimmy picks up a thin book from the shelf. The cover is faded. The title reads, The Optimism Bias. Neuroscientist Tali Sharot ran a series of experiments. She asked people to estimate the probability of various bad things happening to them. Divorce, cancer, accidents. Then she compared it to real statistical data. Almost everyone systematically underestimated the likelihood of bad things happening specifically to them, not to others, to themselves. This is built into the architecture of the human brain. Optimism bias is a feature, not a bug. Without it, people would not start businesses, get married, or drive into a field after a tornado. The problem is that it does not distinguish between moderate risk and lethal situations. The brain tells you, it will not happen to me. It told Tim Samaras that. It told Paul Samaras that. The snail on the desk slowly crawls into its shell and watches from a safe distance, just like most of us. Psychological first aid. Optimism is a resource, but many experts recommend balancing it through a practice called defensive pessimism. This is not anxiety, it is scenario planning. What exactly will go wrong, and what will I do then? Google it. Tali Sharot. Optimism Bias. Neuroscience. Phenomenon 3. Attentional narrowing under stress. Jimmy pulls an old stopwatch from the desk drawer, places it on a paper and hits the button. The seconds tick by. When a person is under acute stress, the sympathadrenal system kicks in. The release of adrenaline and noradrenaline narrows the field of vision. Literally, peripheral vision shuts down. The brain focuses on a single threat. This is called attentional narrowing. In the field, this is dangerous. You are looking at the main funnel. You do not see the subvortex on the left. Emergency responders call it tunnel vision. It is documented in firefighters, police, paramedics, in storm chasers. This is exactly why professional teams work in pairs. One watches the threat, the other watches everything else. The snail stretches a small antenna on its head to the left, then right, then left again, checking the periphery. You do not always have the time. Psychological first aid. Training under moderate pressure expands your working range of attention in real situations. Stress management research shows that regular scenario thinking practice, saying out loud possible threats to the left, right, and behind you, significantly reduces the effect of tunnel vision. It does not eliminate it, it reduces it. Google it. Attentional narrowing, stress psychology, phenomenon for the flow state and its trap. Jimmy leans back in his chair, picks up his mug of black coffee, looks into it for a long time. Hungarian psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi described the flow state in the 70s. Flow state. It is when the challenge level exactly matches your skill level. Not too easy, or you get bored. Not too hard, or you panic. At that exact point, time changes. You stop noticing fatigue. You stop noticing hunger. You stop noticing how many minutes have passed. Storm chasers in the field describe this constantly. I feel nothing but the data. I am entirely inside the situation. Flow is a powerful resource, but it has a shadow. In a flow state, a person loses the ability to meta-evaluate. You do not ask, am I even supposed to be here? You just do. This is useful when the task is right. It is dangerous when the task has outgrown your level. The snail crawls across the desk toward the edge. It slows down, then stops, then sits, and just looks forward. Psychological first aid. Many cognitive psychology experts recommend taking an intentional 30-second break during high engagement. Step away physically or mentally. Ask yourself one question. Is everything still going as I planned? 30 seconds is enough to break the flow and reevaluate the picture. Google it. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi Flow State Research. Phenomenon 5. The bystander paradox. When data becomes more important than people, Jimmy places a small voice recorder on the desk, hits play. You hear static and a snippet of radio chatter. Then he hits stop. In the history of storm chasing, there is an ethical fault line that is not talked about at public conferences. The fault line between documenting and intervening. A farmer looks at the wreckage of his barn. You are holding a camera. This is not just a shot. This is the moment you decide who you are in this scene. Sociologist Howard Becker called this the hierarchy of data problem. When a professional observer begins to value data over interaction, they lose a piece of their humanity. Photojournalists, conflict zone reporters, field scientists, they all face this. Shoot or help, record or be present. There is no right answer, but the question is mandatory. The snail slowly crawls to the voice recorder, places a hand on it, does not press the button, just keeps its hand there. Psychological first aid. Psychologists working with high-stress professions, doctors, journalists, disaster researchers, recommend a practice called moral inventory. Once a week, in a calm setting, ask yourself, were there moments this week where I could have acted more humanely? Not to beat yourself up, for calibration. So the professional role does not entirely eclipse the person. I'm just a detective, not a doctor, and not a therapist. If anything from this archive hit close to home, talk to a professional. They know more than I do. Google it. Moral injury, professional identity research.
Authors note I spent days studying a world that exists right now. At this very second. While I'm saying this, somewhere over Kansas or Oklahoma, someone is parked on the shoulder, looking at the horizon, and not leaving. I don't know much about meteorology. I don't know how to read a hook echo. I don't know how to find the right side of a storm. But while I was making this video, I realized something that has nothing to do with the weather. Storm chasers aren't just adrenaline junkies. Most of them are afraid, genuinely afraid. It's not bravery without fear. It's acting alongside fear. The difference is huge. Diane Vaughn described the normalization of deviance through the shuttle disaster. But she also described it through the daily lives of ordinary people. When we break our own rules over and over, and nothing happens. And every time, the rules shift a little. A deadline that was rigid suddenly becomes flexible. A sleep schedule that was mandatory suddenly becomes optional. A boundary in a relationship that you set suddenly becomes negotiable. Bit by bit. Step by step. Until one day you're standing somewhere you never intended to go. Tali Sharot showed that your brain lies to you about you. It tells you you're the exception, that the statistics apply to others, that your tornado will miss you. It's not a character flaw. It's neurobiology. Understanding that doesn't make you a cynic. It makes you more honest. Attentional narrowing under pressure isn't about tornadoes. It's about any moment when the stakes are high. An exam, a difficult conversation with a loved one, the moment you're handed an ultimatum. The brain narrows. It sees one thing. It doesn't see the subvortex on the left. Samars saw better than you and me combined, and the subvortex still came from the wrong place. I thought about this for a long time, and came to a conclusion that seems important to me. There are risks we take because we believe in the outcome. And there are risks we take simply because we forgot to stop and ask. The first is a choice. The second is a habit. Top-level storm chasers know the difference. They stop. They ask. Sometimes they drive away without the shot, without the data. Because you can gather data next week. And there isn't always a next week. Every phenomenon in Jimmy's archive isn't about Tornado Alley. Normalization of deviance is about any place where you shifted your boundary just a little bit again. Optimism bias is about any moment you thought, that won't happen to me. Tunnel vision is about any important conversation where you only heard one thing. Flow is about any project where you lost yourself so much you stopped noticing where you were even going. The bystander paradox is about any moment the task became more important than the person next to you. Subscribe and check the community tab right on our channel. That's exactly where we pick the next investigation topic. Your vote decides where we go next. Take care of yourselves. This was Detective Jimmy Snail. Until we meet again in the shadows.